to Old Guys Records, one old guy for now, as Mike and I decide when we will return to the studio. Until then, we press on with some fun segments about our love and our passion for our records. Recently I started Obsessive Trifectas, where we bought our favourite albums on all these different formats. We bought them on record, of course. We bought them on cassettes. We also bought them on CDs. We just had to have them on different formats. No matter where we went, we could have access to listening to them. Yes, of course. Now, for today's episode, I'm looking at one of my favourite bands. Their career spans over 45 years. Can I say that they're approaching 50? But I love them so much. Of course, we're going back to Britain. We're going back to the post-punk movement. Yes, they reinvented themselves, had all these hit singles, but they're also very, very famous for that very moody, melancholy, epic sound. I'm talking about Boys Don't Cry. The Cure, definitely one of my favourite bands. Yes, now I could go on forever talking about their history, but a bit of a brief background. Yes, they go back to 1978 when they released Three Imaginary Boys on Fiction Records. There was such a low budget that Fiction Records, as Chris Parry produced the album. Yes, and then they sort of took a dark turn, and there's this trilogy of albums starting from 17 Seconds, Faith, and of course Pornography, that builds onto this really dark and moody sound. Yes, and they're at the forefront of this subgenre called gothic music. They're categorized in that. Of course, very, very dark lyrics, very moody music. Yes, epic sound. And then of course, the band implodes after the Pornography tour. Simon Gove, the bass player, walks off. Robert Smith has his disillusion. Where's the next step? Where do we go from here? He joins Silksies and the Banshees as their guitarist. Yes, so there's rumors that the band has split up. No, they haven't. It's Robert Smith that releases The Top, and a psychedelic type of album. And of course it's him playing all the instruments, him writing all the songs, and him singing. It's like a solo album, right? But yes, and then of course it's Chris Parry again that sort of says, maybe you guys need to reinvent yourselves. And they sort of release these tracks such as, Let's Go to Bed, very, very dancey, very, very radio friendly, as well as, The Walk, again, very driving sort of dancey beat. Yes. And they've reinvented themselves. So, after all this, the band sort of comes together, So Simon Gove returns, of course, Robert Smith's there, and of course his childhood, school friend, Lowell Tolhurst, rejoins, and you've got Boris Williams and Pearl Thompson, and the band comes up together again and come up with this really fresh sounding album. It's like, Robert Smith says, it's like the family came back together again with all this energy, and they produced The Head on the Door by The Cure. What an album. This was my first Cure album and started my love affair with a band that spans so many decades, yes, and still love them dearly, yes. But why would I buy this on record and then buy it on cassette and buy the CD and then buy the deluxe edition of the CD with all the outtakes and the demos? Because I love the album. It was such a great album at the time, and still listen to it many times over. Now, there are so many things to like about it. It is that fresh sound. Now, Robert Smith does say he was influenced by Kaleidoscope, done by Silksies and the Banshees, that diverse sound where every song is different, yes. And of course, Human League's Dare album. So he tried to capture that diversity with this album, and there's so much to like about it. You've got, for example, the blood and that flamenco type of guitar all the way through. You've got Kyoto Song, which has that oriental sound all through it. Now, you've got also, great singles such as, In Between Days, that driving acoustic guitar. People say that it sort of sounds like, New Order, but this was the first thing I bought of The Cure. This is about the beginning of my journey, yes. And then you've got that upbeat, infectious beat of Close to Me. Yes, very dancey, very quirky. We all remember the film clip of them being in the closet. Yes, and you know, they rock out with other tracks such as Push and A Night Like This, you know, and of course my favorite song is, you know, reminiscent of their old melancholy and moody sound. It's called Sinking. It finishes off the album where he sort of says, I'm slowing down as years go by, you know, I'm sinking, and so I trick myself like everybody else. He sort of says, yes, time is passing, and he's in a bit denial, yes, and then he finishes off the song where he says, I crouch in fear and wait, I'll never feel again, if only I could remember anything at all. You know, what a way to finish off such a great album, you know, ahead of the, it did very, very well in Britain. It was the most successful album to date, you know, reaching number 7. It actually charted in the US. This is what The Cure wanted, sort of break into the market. Yes, it was low in the charts, but it still got there, and this was the beginning of much greater things of The Cure. Yes, this was the beginning. So tell us all about it. You know, send in your comments, you know, subscribe to our YouTube channel, you know, like us on our Facebook page, and I'll look forward to you with another episode of Obsessive Trifectas. See you then.